Get cool stuff for what you were going to do anyway. Drink beer. With Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, you can just snap a photo of your receipt and upload it to the website to rack up points for exclusive merch. Get points for every purchase, whether you're grabbing a pint on draft, a case for a party, or a tall boy at the stadium. Any size, any product, anywhere you buy Labatt. Buy beer, get gear. Sign up now at rewards.labattusa.com.
You're going to see high-level basketball meets the drama of reality TV.
The Elam ending, everything on the line. For the win. Good! Boeheim's Army wins it!
Deep three. Farrell drains it.
Here's Buddy.
He got it! And that's your ball game. Boeheim's Army wins the Syracuse Regional.
Yo.
Now, stand back for your own safety.
Steve, what's up?
Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Steve. Where Paulie at?
Here we go.
I'm checking out. I will respond to you, but I'm done for the week. I'm done.
Steve is my favorite part of the show. How's that?
Yes. I like that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Check for sound.
Pleasure to be on there talking with Paulie, man. He's a good dude.
I'm an idiot. I'll just shut up and let you talk. I was trying to help.
And shout out to Tupac.
3, 2, 1, and
This is Orange Nation.
Well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
With Stephen Fonte and Paulie Sibilia.
Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to have you with us. Alongside Paulie Sibilia, I'm Stephen Fonte as we welcome you into a Wednesday edition of Orange Nation. We've got two guests lined up for you on the show today. We'll be joined at 12:30 by Jake Marsh. He was on the call last night for the Boeheim's Army game against Hall in Fox Sports. He will join us at 12:30 to break down Game 1. We'll look ahead to Game 2 tomorrow night here in Syracuse.
More like haul out. Right. Am I right, Steve?
As of tomorrow night, you would think so. 1 o'clock, Mac Lain, the college football analyst for the ACC Network, will join us as we talk all things college football beginning at 1. Plus, we'll mix in your phone calls throughout at 315-437-7644. What's up, Paulie?
Not much, Steve. The Boeheim's Army game was fun last night. It did bring something glaring to me about Syracuse basketball, though.
What's that?
There has been a drought at the 5.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, could you have gotten Jesse Edwards? I don't even know if he's in the NBA. I don't know. But it's slim pickings at the center. But that kid that apparently is friends with Jimmy, Kae, I'll call him.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, he was awesome. Very good, Steve.
Yeah,
Bouncy.
17 points, 11 boards. Yeah, high motor. Played a lot of minutes. Played 30 minutes. Played the most minutes on the team last night. Him and Cole. It was dominating. And I tell you what, and yes, Cole was great. We'll get into that. They won by 30. And they essentially got nothing out of Buddy. Buddy didn't play well, didn't shoot it well anyway. 2 for 10, 1 for 6 from three-point range, finished with 5 points. And they really didn't get anything from Tyson Walker either, their starting point guard, who finished with 4 points in
Cole
25
Swider
minutes.
Said, we don't need anybody else.
Well, he was awesome. Yeah. I mean, he kind of single-handedly took that game over last night. But I guess my point is that, they win by 30, and two guys coming in that you thought were going to be your better players in Walker and Buddy didn't really give you anything. They combined for 9 points. And Cole was great. Elijah was great. You mentioned the big fella down low. Ty Nichols hit the game-winning shot, and he played well in off the bench with 9 points, 6 assists. This team is, and again, it's one game. And
I also want to preface this, Steve. I don't know if it looked this way to you, but Seton Hall looked like it wanted nothing to do with this.
Well, it also hurt that their best player wasn't there. And
yeah, I feel like that played into it.
Sure, for sure. And we don't know his status moving forward. We don't know Wes Johnson's status moving forward. It sounds like he's not going to be available tomorrow night, but there's been a whole lot of secrecy about player availability and so on and so forth. I don't quite get it, but no Wes Johnson last night, and really no reason given. It's just he just wasn't there.
How about we had Coach Bridges on, and I asked him, "Hey, how's Wes Johnson look?" And he said, "I'll let you decide that tonight." But he wasn't there.
He didn't look great then. I don't know. I don't know.
Can't you just say, I don't know? I haven't seen him. Have you? Like, that would have been a better response.
Yeah, I don't get the all the secrecy about the roster, especially the guys who are on that reserve list that weren't going to play last night anyway. But in any event, they went out and they played well, and they went on an early run. It was 8-7. They were they fell behind 8-7, and then they went on a run that they took over the lead and just never looked back. And they were the much better team. And as you said, Paulie, it seemed like the Seton Hall guys, aside from maybe a player or two, seemed like they they had no interest in putting up a fight. They lose by 30, and now Boeheim's Army can close it out tomorrow night at the War Memorial.
Alphabet Guy says that team would crush our real team. I think that's the case with most of the alumni game players because it's G League and pros. Not everybody on your team is a pro. Like, I don't think that's the diss that Alphabet Guy thinks it is.
Yeah, listen, there's less teams in the tournament this year, 14 teams in this field. I think, Boeheim's Army comes in certainly as one of the favorites, and they looked the part last night. And again, it's one game against a team that they were better than, and I'm sure that they'll face stiffer competition as this thing moves along. But, if you are able to get by your first round, then you just got to win 2 more games to get to the final, and then the final would be on your home court. That's how they're working it this year, that the alumni champion will get home court advantage against whoever comes out of that other bracket. So if they're able to win this series, and it looks like obviously they're in good shape to do so, you got 2 more wins, and then you get the championship game here in Syracuse.
Yeah, the way the bracket looks, right? Syracuse would play the
Louisville,
Kentucky
winner.
games. Yeah,
and that's coming down to a game 3 tonight.
Let's get through Seton Hall first, Steve. Let's not look ahead.
Yeah.
Let's take this one game at a time. It's
based on what we saw last night, I think we would both be stunned if they don't win this series.
I also wouldn't be stunned if we showed up at the arena and Seton Hall was like, nothing would shock me about this tournament.
That is a possibility. Yes, that is a possibility.
It's crazy to me that Wes Johnson wasn't there.
Well, right, and there's just no clarity about where he was.
But it's also not like real, so it's like they don't have to. Like, there's no commissioner that's going to tell you that you have to release your injury reports before the game.
I get it. It seemed odd. It seemed like the impression I got is that the coaches didn't know where he was either.
No call, no show.
Yeah, right. That's the impression you got.
This isn't McDonald's, man. You don't just not show up to work.
Right. And McCullough was activated, so he would be eligible to play, but it sounds like he had a prior commitment, and they didn't really expect him to be there. They just activated him just in case. So
I think you have to have that many people.
Yeah, right.
So, and it'll be interesting to see if he travels up to Syracuse to play in the Syracuse games. But it's fun. It's still fun to watch. Cole Swider was fun to watch last night. Eric Devendorf. I was out of breath watching him, and he's still knocking down jumpers.
He is.
Good for him.
Yeah. 7 points in 6 minutes. Made the most of his time out there.
Yeah. He was like, he's instant offense still.
Yeah. You got to love it. All-time leading scorer in Boeheim's Army history, which is quite obvious because he's played in the most of anyone. But, they had 8 available players last night, and, everybody contributed in some capacity. They're going to have enough to get by this Seton Hall alumni squad, and then you see what you can do from there. Again, you got to win two more games. It becomes, again, for those who don't know the format, it now becomes one and done after you get through this first round. So they would play the winner, Kentucky and Louisville. Game 3 of that series is tonight, and then that's an elimination game. And then whoever wins that one moves on to the finals of the alumni bracket, and then whoever wins that one gets home court for the championship.
Steve, I also want to just let you know that there's a slight chance you and I are calling the game tomorrow that I will be asked to fill in a spot on the team if necessary.
Like a player coach, you'll be like an announcer, announcer.
No, I got to take it seriously. So if they need me on the bench to fill a roster spot, I will be out there.
You'll be a walk-on?
Yeah, he'll be calling the game.
Put you in if they're up 30s. All right, Paulie, it's your turn. You going for the last 2 minutes?
Yeah.
That's what last night got out of hand in that second half.
It would be like one of those things you would see on Sunday morning, that show where they're like, Paulie Sibilia has been in Syracuse for 3/4 of his life, and got a chance to suit up for
what a thrill!
Boeheim's Army.
What a thrill!
Like a Make-A-Wish kid. Yeah, it's fun though. It is fun to watch. And Cole knocked down everything. If him and Buddy are just like half and half of what they were last night, they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, and Elijah Hughes too. I mean, Elijah came out and was great. Right from the jump, had 5 of their first 7 points. He finished with 12, and was doing it on both ends. I mean, I don't think there's any question this team can score, and I think it comes down to, and we discussed this beforehand, do they have enough rebounding? And they did last night. They won the battle on the glass. They were +3 on the glass. If they can win the battle on the glass, you would think that they're going to be able to outshoot the other team. And outside of Cole, they didn't even shoot it all that great last night from 3. I mean, he was 4 for 8. Elijah was 2 for 4. But outside of that, they were 2 for 14. So, Buddy didn't shoot it well. Nobody really shot it well. Ty Nichols was 0 for 3 from deep. Eric, as we mentioned, made 1 3. But I don't even think we saw the best, or not even close to the best, out of Boeheim's Army last night. And they won by 30. So
yeah, and Seton Hall turned the ball over a lot. 16 turnovers.
Yeah. They were sloppy.
Yeah, you can't win a game like that. Steve, if I was on the court and I went up for a layup and missed it, do you think the other team would rebound it and hand it to me and let me make the next layup?
If you were going to end up on Sunday morning, then yes, that's how it would go until you scored. Because if you miss, it's not a story. You need to make the shot in order for it to be a story.
Yeah, and hopefully it does go that way. And, I don't know if Buddy's hurt, but, was there talk of an ankle injury with him a little bit?
I mean, and I think some of it too with Buddy is that he came from Vegas. I mean, he played out in Las Vegas. He arrived in New Jersey, literally the night before, and so maybe he just needed a day to get his sea legs about him, and I would expect that he's going to be better tomorrow night. But everybody's allowed an off night. He didn't shoot it all that well, and hopefully he's able to bounce back for this team tomorrow night and moving forward.
All right, that was the TBT breakdown. Steve, what else was it?
It was our opening drive, and it was brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero and Burdick Toyota. We've got Jake March. He was on the call last night for Boeheim's Army for the TBT for Fox Sports. He will join us at 12:30. We'll get his thoughts again on what impressed him the most from Game 1, and we'll get a preview of Game 2. Eric Mac Lain, college football analyst from the ACC Network, at 1 o'clock. Just getting started here on a Wednesday edition of Orange Nation. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
Catch Sunday Night Baseball every Sunday night at 6:30 on ESPN Radio Syracuse.
Dining at your favorite restaurants should always be an experience. That's why 11 Waters not only serves amazing food and drinks, but also an atmosphere you can't get anywhere else. From a relaxing bistro brunch to a romantic dinner, 11 Waters has it all. Come enjoy the ambiance of 11 Waters, conveniently located on South Warren Street on the ground level of Marriott Syracuse downtown. Now open for dinner Tuesday through Saturday, 5 to 10 p.m. Plus, get complimentary valet parking right outside the
Yankees
main door.
doubleheader
For more
today.
dining information, go to 11waters.com.
Back here at Pawn Pro on Erie Boulevard East, so I'm here with Brian, the owner. One of the things I was thinking about is how different Pawn Pro is versus other pawn shops.
Yeah, we started the store with the idea of changing the stigma behind a pawn shop. We take the time to carefully curate our collections. We have a very knowledgeable staff. We take the time to train, and we have some of the latest equipment and the best technology to authenticate your items. We're not here just to make an offer. We take the time to help you figure out what you can do with those items. If it's something that we're not buying, we have a network of people that we can refer you to depending on the item, but we'll research, and we're happy to look at anything. You can come in and just ask any questions. We're kind of like a help desk. We love researching, going through collections. It's exciting for us too.
See what you can find at Pawn Pro on Erie Boulevard East or pawnpro.com.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right seat.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Michael, I need to ask you something.
Sure, Mark. Is it about those wildfires that we're experiencing lately?
No, not exactly. Does everyone suddenly decide they need a new vehicle the second summer arrives?
You're not wrong. Road trips, vacations, weekends at the lake. Summer is the perfect time for a dependable Honda.
I told my wife that exact story. She said I was just looking for an excuse to buy another car.
I think I know who really runs a household.
It's by committee, but let's just say I don't get the final approval.
Well, at Great Lakes Honda City in Liverpool, now's a great time to upgrade. During the Honda Summer Event, you'll find a great selection of new Hondas, competitive financing offers, and a team that's focused on making your buying experience easy and enjoyable.
Whether you're headed to the beach, the campground, or just enjoying a summer cruise with the family, there's a Honda here that's ready to go.
So stop into Great Lakes Honda City and let us help you find the right Honda at the right price.
Summer doesn't last forever, but you'll love your Honda for years to come.
Visit Great Lakes Honda City in Liverpool or shop anytime at GreatLakesHondaCity.com.
Great Lakes Honda City, where buying a Honda is quick, easy, and hassle-free.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom print.
I'm reading something. Yes, he is, Zach. I am reading something that is more important than the chat. Sorry. Steve, they had to listen to commercials for 3 minutes. Can you believe the outrage and depravity, the pain that they must have suffered through? Hearing
they were suffering.
Oh yeah, it was like
down a man.
Yeah, it was an awful suffrage. I broke the rules, Steve, on Key Sweat.
You just picked your favorites?
No. This song is slept on off of his first album. Something Just Ain't Right, Steve.
So you did. You picked your favorite.
No, I went except for this one.
Except for this one. Okay.
He's so good. Are you embarrassed by this today?
No.
You're okay to go into Jake Marsh and be like, all right, I'll give you all my love to you. I'm going to make you sweat. You're okay with that?
I am. Okay. I am.
All right. Just as long
I voted for it. I wouldn't have voted for it if I wasn't okay.
All right. What are you want to continue to talk about the TBT, or would you like to go into the big NIL night for Syracuse?
Well, it is a big night, and we're going to get back to the TBT here in our next segment when we bring on Jake Marsh. But tonight is the SummerSlam out in the Skinny Atlas area. Vinny Lobdell hosting the event, and it's the second annual, right? They did one last year. Jerry was obviously coaching at Siena, saw clips online, and heard about it and loved the idea, and they're bringing it back this year. And it does seem like it's going to be a special night. It's limited seating. It's a chance to raise money for NIL. It's a chance to get some donors in this area excited about the team and the product and what you're going to see from a Syracuse basketball perspective this year. Carmelo's involved and Vinny Lobdell, and it should be a lot of fun. And Melo recently did an interview with Syracuse.com, and he said that you got to be creative these days, and you do. I mean, that is I don't think there's any question that is among the most important things right now in college athletics, and you could say that it's number one on the list, is you got to figure out NIL. And at a place like Syracuse, you got to figure out creative ways to raise that money and to be competitive. And this is one thing that they're going about trying to do it. And, you hope that it's a successful night. By all accounts, you expect it to be.
Yeah, and I know people poo-poo it because it's for high rollers. Maybe they could do something like bring back Midnight Madness again and make that contingent on NIL, something that everybody can attend. Because I know the average Joe is like, oh, what do I care that, a bunch of rich people. Well, the rich people are the ones that are going to be giving the bulk of the money.
Well, yeah.
So
right.
So you got to do it. But, yeah, I see how that the average Joe might feel left out in something like this.
Yeah, and listen, the donors want some exclusive access, right? And some behind-the-scenes access. And that's what tonight feels like, that it's, they're limiting the amount of tickets that they're selling. I believe they set it at 400. Those 400 people that are willing to spend that kind of money to be there, I think it's $1,000 plus to get in the door tonight. They're going to get some exclusive access at this team and, the key players. And, that's one way to raise money. And, we've seen that, right, with NIL, that obviously the average fan is important in their own way, and attendance is certainly important. We've talked about the importance of attendance and the extra money that you can make if people start coming back inside the building. But you need corporate sponsors, and you need some of these individual big money donors that can help out.
A white whale is what they call them, Steve.
Yeah.
Syracuse lacks that. They've got to get a bunch of swordfish.
Sure.
Like a couple,
a dolphin,
a dolphin,
shark,
school of trout. You gotta be creative, like Carmelo said.
Got to be creative, find a way to make up the difference. I don't know. I like the idea. You brought up an idea before we came on the air, which I thought was interesting about, now that there are pretty much no rules out there when it comes to paying players. Why not have something like the TBT for current college players? I thought that was, you've had worse ideas than that.
No, I think that'd be fun. It would also make them have to commit for multiple years.
Right, exactly.
So, like, all right, you're going to play this, and then in the summer we've got another tournament, like, that's going to give you a chance to win $2 million.
Yeah, why not? Why not? That would be a lot of fun. The games don't count from a wins and losses perspective for your season, but they help get you ready for the year, and it could help your guys pocket a little extra money in the offseason.
I'm in.
Yeah.
If I had the money to pony up for it, I would do it.
It's a great idea. It is. We're going to be down there tomorrow night, and maybe we can talk with the TBT folks. And
I'll be like, I've got $5. It's expendable cash right now if you'd like me to help out.
But yeah, I think that what this thing tonight is it's kind of the future of NIL, and other places are doing similar things, and you got to find things that are unique to your own program and to get people excited about the product. And so, I don't think you're going to learn too much about the team tonight. You're going to see who's got, the dunking ability. They're going to have a dunk contest, 3-point shooting contest. But it's mostly just to drum up support and excitement, and give the big money donors some inside access to this team.
Yeah, and it is important, and that's why you got to hope it goes well tonight, and they're able to do this year in and year out, or at least some part of it. And, and props to Vinny. Everybody sits here and yaps about one name that doesn't do anything, and Vinny's out here doing it, and he deserves the praise for doing it.
Right. Absolutely. And it does feel like a fresh start, and I think we've been talking about that for the last several months, that it does feel like there's a breath of fresh air around Syracuse basketball for the first time in a while here. Who knows how it's going to go? You hope it goes well. But I think right now people are optimistic. Maybe some are cautiously optimistic, but I think there is a reason for optimism with new coaching staff and new players, new roster. It seems like this is a fresh start and a reset for the program.
No, and everybody, the chat, it wasn't a shot at Weitzman. It was, hey, give the guy who's actually giving the money credit for doing it. Praise him like you do the other guy. Vinny's a good dude. He's helping the program.
Yeah, he is a good dude. And that doesn't mean that there aren't others out there.
And Adam could help too still.
Right.
If he wanted to. Nobody's stopping him.
Correct. But no, Vinny's stepping up. And you're right. I mean, he should be commended for that. That, a lot of people talk about what the issues are, and, he's trying to do something about it. And we know that one of the big issues is money right now. And he's doing his part, trying to do his part to make it happen. And, he's got a good relationship with Jerry. And as you said, hopefully this goes well tonight. Hopefully the season goes well, and the program collectively can build upon this and build some momentum.
And like we've been saying, it's important right now. You've got to start winning in the big two, football and basketball, because changes are coming, and you want to be part of it.
Yeah, you want to position yourself and be ready for those changes, no doubt. All right, we're going to hit a break here. We've got Jake Marsh set to join us on the other side. He's traveling up here to Syracuse from New Jersey.
I'm laughing at our chat saying things like bake sales and car washes, because that would be funny.
Lemonade stand.
Yeah.
Did you ever do a lemonade stand when you were a kid?
Like what if Cayenne was just out on the corner doing a lemonade stand? Like I bet you it would work.
Of course.
Yeah, and if you did a bake sale where the players baked the goods, it may not be good, but it'd be funny to go buy
be a good story, right?
Full effect fudge.
There you go.
Yeah,
Doty Danish.
Oh yeah, look at that, Steve. That's the most you've ever played along with my stupidity. Anything else you'd like to?
No, I'm good.
To add?
I think I'm good. All right, we're going to talk with Jake Marsh on the other side and preview Game 2 tomorrow night at the War Memorial. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
Oh. I don't know why the Super League isn't being talked about by the current athletic director. He's only been in the job for 22 days, so. Did you guys touch on the whole SEC separate? Yeah, we're prepared for whatever happens. We've discussed that. A country club with a golf outing with a bake sale. Golf outings are tough to put together, man. You got to get like a sponsor on every hole. Did I ever tell you I played in a golf tournament once and they had a hole-in-one contest? Like if you hit a hole-in-one on the par 3 at Tanner Valley, you won a town car. And they parked the town car on the course, and I hit the fucking car with a ball. Paulie, so guys, I got a funny story for you. I have a group text with my friends who I grew up with in California, and I was trying to explain the TBT to them, and they thought it was the dumbest thing they had ever heard. They were like, it was like me reacting to the World Cup. It was like, what? You're calling a game of players who are done playing? I would do a shirtless fundraiser for NIL, but Paulie absolutely hates suggestions. No one can have good ideas except him. Okay. Did I not just say it was funny that the people wanted to do a car wash and a golf outing? Dunk tank? I would do a dunk tank for NIL. Welcome in, Gaper. Glad to see you can go. Could you go a day without just talking about me when I don't even acknowledge you? Steve, do you wear a t-shirt in the pool? That's a good question. Gaper would come rub my nipples. I'm sorry if they're on. I would do it without my shirt on. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm proud of my belly. $1 a nipple. You're damn right. No shirt needed. When will we be at the state fair this year, Steve? We got to come up with dates.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we collectively could talk about it. What makes the most sense?
No, I just was wondering if he could, like, if I don't acknowledge him or say anything that's crazy, that he would just not throw insults at me. Wham. Yeah. Wham. He already knows what days we'll be there.
Me?
Oh, Gaper. Probably camped under that ledge that we broadcast from. Oh, Keith Sweat is our artist of the day. This was definitely a cassette, Steve, that I had.
Yeah, me too.
And I would high speed dub these songs for a lady friend if I could. You know what I mean? Because 13-year-old Paulie was all about making the other 13-year-old girl sweat, Steve. I thought that meant we would all go run a mile around the track or play some pickup. Do you know what make you sweat means, Steve? You know what the song's about?
Yes, Paulie. Yes, I do.
There's cardio and then there's cardio, if you know what I mean.
I think we're waiting on Jake Marsh here to talk some TBT. Trying to connect with him right now. It was a good choice though, Keith Sweat. Hopefully Tim's enjoying. I don't think Tim hadn't heard of Keith Sweat.
It's the late 80s, mid 90s, barely alive.
Yeah. Hopefully he's enjoying it. We'll find out when he comes in for today's business.
Tell us, Steve, what does it mean? The chat would like to know. It's cardio.
Look at that.
There
We've got our guest.
You saved by the guest.
All right, we are pleased to be joined now by Jake Marsh. He was on the call last night for Boeheim's Army and Hall Inn, and on his way here to Syracuse for Game 2 tomorrow night. Jake, we appreciate the time. Let's jump right in. What impressed you the most last night about that Boeheim's Army squad?
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Excited to be heading back to my alma mater's hometown and being back on the call for a Syracuse-ish game. But it's got to be Colt Slider, right? I mean, he only spent 1 year with the Orange, but 28 points. He absolutely balled out. Obviously, one of the few guys who's had NBA experience. And here he is coming straight off of what was a season in Turkey, and he just hooped, right? TBT's debut. I think Boeheim's Army is what's so great about them is they have a lot of veterans in this event, but Cole Slider was a rookie, but it didn't look like it.
I did find it interesting what he said to you guys after the game when he talked about his fondness for Syracuse. And in this day and age of transfer portal and NIL and mainly transfer portal when it comes to a guy like Cole, he was only here 1 year, but he said something last night that I kind of resonate with me in that he said his 1 year here kind of rejuvenated his career and his love of basketball. Things didn't go great at Villanova, but even though he was here a short time, it seems like he very much associates himself with this is where he went to college, this is his alma mater, this is the place that he loves.
Yeah, he was very transparent about that during his pre-tournament interviews as well. He didn't play much at Villanova, and yes, was he there for a longer amount of time? Absolutely, but that 1 year at Syracuse, sure, they didn't player, and I love the respect that he shows the place, the fan base. To your point too, when he told us like this would be really cool because to win this tournament for Syracuse because things didn't go as I planned from a team perspective. So he's bought in on all of this, which is awesome to see.
So, Swider certainly stole the headlines. He was great, 28 points. Outside of him, who else stood out to you from Boeheim's Army?
It's got to be one of the four they're calling portal players.
Right.
You can have up to maximum of 4 non-alumni on your team. And I was up all night practicing K.O. Akobundu Ehiogu's
You nailed
name.
it.
The big fella.
You nailed
he
it.
was dominant, right?
Yeah.
A double-double. He was just a beast. I feel like every time I looked up, he was slamming it down on both ends of the court. The defensive side, too. I know he has some past playing history overseas with Jimmy Boeheim, and he was an awesome treat to watch. I'm really excited to see him go at it again tomorrow.
How about Eric Devendorf, a guy who is 39 years old? We talked to him not that long ago, and he said he's actually playing more basketball this summer and recently than he has in the past few years, and he felt great and felt like he could contribute something. Didn't know how many minutes he would play. He only got, 6 minutes last night, but made the most of those minutes, scoring 7 points. What did you make of him being out there?
Yeah, it was great to see Devo back. This was his first time playing in TBT since the team won it all 5 years ago. You know, he's been broadcasting the games for a handful of years, but he's that veteran leader that they need in the locker room, and him making that first three-pointer in the corner, it was awesome to see. I mean, I asked Jim Boeheim this on my podcast, like, did you ever think it would be in the realm of possibility that your two sons, Buddy and Jimmy, would be on the same court as Eric Devendorf in an event like this? And he said, no, I wouldn't. But, like, this opportunity gives you the opportunity to do that, and then we saw it last night.
You know, after the game, were you able to find out why Wes Johnson wasn't there? You know, everybody was excited to see him play again, and then no show.
Yeah, I didn't get any specifics. I think I got to double check. I think I saw Donna Dakota tweet something about a Big 3 commitment, but
Gotcha.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, she tweeted, update, West apparently has a Big 3 responsibilities tonight, but will likely be in Syracuse on Thursday. She talked to Sean Belby, the GM, so that's the only information I have. But, yeah, it would obviously be great to see West back on campus.
Since Paulie brought up Wes Johnson, how about the other two guys? Ja'Cory Williams did not play last night. Chris McCullough was, called up late in the game, and I don't think they ever expected he was going to be available last night, but was eligible if for some reason he was able to show up. Any idea if those two guys will be in uniform tomorrow?
Yeah, unsure. All I was told was scheduling conflict for missing the game last night. But the thing is with TBT, right, anyone can show up on a moment's notice as long as they're on the roster. That's what makes it so great is the unpredictability about it. So, like, yeah, there's definitely no definites on either side of it, but who knows?
When you look at this roster as a whole, and maybe it was difficult to see last night because Boeheim's Army was so efficient and won the game by 30, and Hall-In struggled, especially in that second half. Do you have any concerns about Boeheim's Army, or what would you identify maybe as a weakness? And I realize that it might be difficult to identify that coming out of last night.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a weakness, I don't even know. It would be nitpicky. Because everyone was so on, and this team has so many shooters, right? Like, Buddy didn't have the best game last night. He was 2 of 8 from the floor, and had 5 points, but Cole Swider balled out. Like, is Cole Swider gonna go 6 of 10 from the floor each night? Maybe not, but then you have Buddy, so they can really balance each other out. Elijah Hughes is a lethal shooter as well, but I don't know. I mean, after winning by 30, it's hard to find something that's a weakness, but maybe lack of depth. I don't know. We saw Tyson Walker, I think, get a little banged up towards the end, so hopefully he's all right. But if he's not and nobody else comes in, then you're down to 7, which makes things a little tougher. But I guess that, again, that's very, very nitpicky. This team won by 30 and was dominant.
So along those lines, what are the chances in your mind that this team goes on a deep run? And I realize there are less teams this year, 14 teams, right? And all you got to do is win. If they get by this series, then you got to win 2 more to get to the finals, which would be on home court for Boeheim's Army. What do they need to do to get through the alumni bracket? And I'm sure you've seen some of the various competition that they're going to have to face to get the winner of the Kentucky-Louisville matchup. What kind of chances do you give them to make it to the final?
Listen, Boeheim's Army is the winningest alumni team in TBT history, and I think that stat just shows a lot. And when we were talking, Casey Jacobson, who's calling the game with me, we talked to Sean Belby, the GM, before the game, and he said, something that's really unique about us is that every Syracuse alum on our roster all played for the same guy, and that's, of course, Jim Boeheim. And I think that speaks volumes as to why this team has been so successful over the last decade plus in this event, because the culture, the continuity, the chemistry. Sure, there was a great deal of other alumni teams, but those teams had a lot of coaching turnover during those times here. But all 6 of these guys, and maybe more if McCullough and other guys get in the mix later in this tournament, they all played for Jim Boeheim, and that shows on the court with the chemistry.
You've been involved with the TBT that played in Syracuse last year. What does it take from a roster construction standpoint to go on a run? And, do you like the format changes? Do you like the fact that it's less teams and a best of 3 here in the first round and some of the things that they've tweaked this year?
Yeah, it's very different. I think a lot of people love the one-and-done kind of March Madness in the summer type vibe that they brought here. But here, you're getting, at least in the first round, it's more of an NBA playoff structure, right? With the series, I asked Casey this at the end of the game last night. For the first time ever, a loss does not eliminate you. You can actually make adjustments and do film like any other year. Paul Lynn is starting to build about 2027. Now they're on the same road trip as us, and they still have a chance at the $2 million. So I think it's different. It's really cool. And I know TBT really is leaning into the home court advantage type things because no matter how this tournament ends up, you're going to have a sold-out crowd in one of these alumni courts with $2 million on the line, which I think is really unique.
You mentioned that you're a Cuse graduate. What's this like for you, not just calling the TBT, but to be able to call games for Boeheim's Army and, talk to some of these guys that, that you've been watching as an alum?
Yeah, I'll be honest, guys. It was surreal last night. I know there's a lot of Syracuse alums who come back on campus and call games, whether it's for a network or they're the voice of an opposing team, but it's really cool and an awesome full circle moment. I'm really fortunate to be in this position. I want to thank TBT and Fox Sports for giving me the op, not only to call the game, but to call these specific games. Because like you mentioned, I've been fortunate to have relationships with some of these players, and I've seen them go from Syracuse players, and now I've stayed in touch with them during their professional run. So it's really, really cool. And the amount of Syracuse people who I've seen involved on social media watching the game last night, whether it's former Newhouse colleagues and students to other people in the business and professors, it's really cool. And I'm so excited for tomorrow night. But obviously I'm going to beat down the middle because that's what a Big J buttoned-up broadcaster does.
That's right.
Outside of the broadcast, it was pretty surreal being a part of that.
I know you recently had Jim Boeheim on your podcast. Anything stand out from that conversation?
I think it was really cool to see kind of what he's been up to in terms of how he views his career, right? There's obviously ups and downs of anybody's career, but he seems very self-aware about kind of the things that people view him in a negative fashion, but he was accountable about it, right? Because I joked with him when I started off. I'm like, I'll be honest, I never asked you a question at the podium. And he's like, yeah, you know, the Iron Eagles and the Mike Tiricos all said the same thing. And I'm sorry I was a grumpy old man, but there were just things in the game. I think a lot of it was just the timing, right? Because obviously emotions are more fragile during that time. So it was great to see that side of Jim Boeheim, and he seems to be really happy in this next chapter of his career.
Where can we find that podcast and listen to it?
Yeah, so on the call with Jake Marsh, I've been fortunate to get some really good guests. I've had Adam Schefter, I've had Kyle Long, and I'm trying to get some more big guests. Jim Boeheim was this week, so you can get it on YouTube, you can get it on Apple, you can get it on Spotify, and then if you follow me at Jake Marsh 18, I post social clips from all the interviews as well. So it was really cool to have Coach Boeheim on and just to have that full circle moment.
And just lastly from me, Jake, there's a new era of SU basketball. This present team, as Jerry McNamara takes over the program, they've got a big event tonight, an NIL fundraiser that they're hosting at Vinny Lobdell's barn with alumni coming back and a 3-point contest, dunk contest. What are your thoughts about Jerry taking over the program and the roster that he's constructed and where this program is headed?
Yeah, it's interesting. Syracuse fans on the basketball side, and all athletics really, they're some of the most loyal people you'll ever come across, and all they want to do is win, right? If you go back to my time on campus, 2015, yes, there have been some incredibly memorable tournament runs, right? You think of 2016 Final Four, 2018 and 2021 Sweet 16 runs, but the consistency in the regular season, and I know college basketball is a sport that's mostly judged on tournament runs, but Syracuse has not been that dominant powerhouse team that the 2000s and the late 1980s, 90s Final Four runs that we saw consistently. And I asked Coach Boeheim this. I said, what does it take to get Syracuse back in the national conversation consistently? And he said, it's as simple as money. In today's landscape, it is alums buying in, getting involved, and a lot of these kids, understandably so, are just taking the highest bidder. And obviously there's people who think there's issues with that, and some people do still stay loyal if they have ties to Central New York or things like that. But it comes down to the money. I think tonight's SummerSlam, I might go check it out. It seems like a great step in the right direction to get Syracuse back in that level because he said, Jim Boeheim told me, he's like, yeah, Red Oster just didn't have enough money, but he feels like there's a good plan moving forward for GMAC and company.
Well said, Jake. We appreciate the time. I know you'll be on the call with Casey Jacobson again tomorrow night. I actually worked with Casey many years ago with the Sportscaster U program, so please say hello to him. And you'll see Paulie and me both down there tomorrow. We're calling the game on the radio side of things. So we look forward to seeing you in person. We appreciate the time. Safe travels, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
That's awesome. Thank you, guys, and looking forward to seeing you and for all of Orange Nation to show up tomorrow night.
All right. Jake Marsh joining us here on the program, and with that, we'll take a time out.
Steve.
We will check in on the market. We'll wrap up hour number 1, and then we'll talk some college football to kick off hour number 2. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
Vo, we have not played I Want Her yet. When is Drive Time coming back? Probably after the fair or around the fair. Not probably, it will. Thank you. I asked one question, and I got a tweet quoted to me. It's crazy that they don't tell the TV people what's going on. Like, the TV guy has to look on someone else's tweet to find out what the hell's going on.
It really is bizarre.
It's at the on center. It's not RIP. If it goes, I'll tell you this: if Drive Time goes, we're all going because the whole ship's going. It wasn't that Brian couldn't make it work. Like, you guys are just not listening to me when I tell you that it's finances. It's happening everywhere. ESPN is firing. Like, we're in a dying business. I don't know how else to explain it to you guys.
Carl Ravage laid off.
Yeah.
IC Zone.
I don't invest in radio. Unless you want to, I guess. The video part of it is probably more important now. But who knows? I don't know. Because ESPN's laying everybody off. Going out to our YouTube chat, Steve. Vo from 5185 said, "Did you guys play I Want Her Yet by Key Sweat?" I said no, but now we have. A long distance dedication request. You know what this song's about, Steve?
I do, Paulie.
When he wants her?
Most of his songs are about this.
I think they all are. I can say that.
All right, let's bring on Mike from Lee Baldwin and Company and check in on the market here on a Wednesday. Mike, what's going on?
Hi, guys. Pretty quiet there in Wall Street. The S&P and Dow are up slightly. NASDAQ's down by about 0.1%. So not a whole lot going on so far. We are seeing oil up about $2 again, which markets generally don't like. Oil's had a pretty good rally again after going down a few months ago. So we got to keep an eye on that. Diamonds, there's plenty out there today. We're going to go with AT&T. They reported earnings this morning. Stock's trading up about 3%. Actually down for the year, but bouncing nicely today. And our dog, we're going to go with McDonald's. McDonald's actually hit a 52-week low today. Easy for me to say. And it doesn't look like you guys have been eating enough Big Macs lately, but the stock's been under pressure this year. So overall, a pretty quiet day. Looking forward to some earnings tonight from Google and Texas Instruments, which will probably dictate how we do tomorrow. So you guys have a good afternoon.
You too. They need to bring back the McDLT, right, Steve? That'll save them.
All the diamonds, none of the dogs. Be sure to visit LeeBaldwin.com. We're not going down that road again. Let's get to our Yankees update. Brought to you by the Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus. A's lost an extra innings last night. I do know that. Man, their bullpen's just not very good. They tied it in the ninth and then lost 6-5 in extra innings. It's our Yankees update. Brought to you by the Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus. Game was rained out yesterday. Garrett Cole will pitch game one of the split doubleheader, the day-night doubleheader against the Pirates. 1:05 first pitch, so they're about set to get underway in the Bronx. Game two will be at 7:05 as they look to take two from the Pirates. Zach Thornton picked up his first career big league win last night for the Mets. The former Syracuse Met making his fourth career big league start. Pitched great again. He's been fantastic. They just haven't given him any run support. He did get some run support last night and picked up his first big league win. So good for Zach Thornton.
Steve, did you see this in the A's game last night?
I knew where you were going with that.
Growers ruptured his testicle, fouling off a pitch.
Stayed in.
Ruptured, like there's jokes about a rupture. This guy got it, and he's apparently resting comfortably after his surgery of rupturing his testicle. He's apparently in great spirits.
Got a single in that at bat after he did that.
Yes, I would be crying.
Yeah.
And on the field, it's hard to watch.
The fact that he stayed in and finished the at-bat and then got a hit is remarkable.
Yeah. So, Godspeed to him. I kind of want to look up what the technical definition of a rupture is. Do you think that will... We have a male audience, mostly. You think it'll make guys squirm?
Probably. I feel like that's something we should talk about during the break.
Why? It's very important.
Because we want to stay on time for our guests. But...
Testicular health, Steve.
Okay.
Ruptured testicle. I should have Googled it before. But, yeah, it doesn't sound fun. A ruptured testicle is a medical emergency. It's a tear in some two words that I can't even say. The outer layer of the fibrous outer layer of the testicle is breached. It allows the internal soft tissue to squeeze or spill out.
Okay. Thanks for enlightening us.
I hate my life right now. I'm sorry I read that.
Yeah. Let's stay on time for our guest. We'll hit the top of the hour. We got
Working
Eric
with you
Mac
is like
Lain,
a ruptured testicle.
college football analyst from ACC Network, will join us next. We'll talk some college football on the other side. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
All right, now everybody's telling their testicle stories. What are you excusing me about? I did not say everybody was a guy. I said mostly male. Steve's lucky he doesn't have testicles. I wish he was here for that bird. So I got hit with a line drive, and I had to go get mine x-rayed because they thought I might have twisted them. San Diego Q's. Yeah, Tori. Yeah, I had to go to urgent care and take my. They're like, most people are there for like coughs and stuff, and I was like, yeah, no, I've got to have you look at my junk. Who said it was a girl? Did I say it was a girl? I am not a dollar store gooner, no. Maybe we'll do worst ball injuries for Billy Idol tickets in a couple weeks. My friends took me to a strip club for my 35th birthday, and they brought me up on stage, and the girl took my belt off and whipped me and hit me in the junk with my own belt. That was painful. You ever hurt your junk, Steve? You ever had to go to the emergency room for a... No.
You?
Yes.
Really?
Got a line drive in the junk. Huh? There's a rash of it going on. Dollar store gooning. I didn't realize, like, when I thought when they said rupture, I thought it was boom, like a full explosion. I didn't realize it was seepage. You don't want your balls seeping, Steve. Why not the dollar store? It was during warm-ups, and I wasn't looking. Yeah, there's a rash of gooning, an epidemic.
What's that?
My body, Steve. You know what this song's about? Want to do today's business?
Yeah, we're waiting on Eric Mac Lain, college football analyst from the ACC Network. He warned us that he had an interview. He was interviewing one of the ACC football coaches and said that it might run a little bit long.
Doesn't he know who we are?
Yeah.
Or you are, at least?
No, it's all good. We'll catch up with him here in a little bit. But I guess in the meantime, let's get to today's business, brought to you by Superior Plus Propane. SU women's basketball announcing a non-conference game yesterday. It's a road game, but they don't have to travel too far, Paulie. They've got to go about 2.5 miles down the road.
How do you feel about that?
Road game at Lemoyne on December 16th.
I think it's cool. I think
it's
the men
cool
should
too.
do it.
I don't know if it's realistic for the men to do it from an attendance perspective. I think the women see it as an opportunity to pack that place, right? I don't know offhand how many Lemoyne holds, but I think I don't know if that would be mutually beneficial for both schools to do it on the men's side, because Lemoyne wants a bigger payday as well. You would be able to get a bigger payday from a men's perspective if you had the game in the dome.
I just still think it'd be it's just for fun.
I know they've talked about that in the past with St. Bonaventure.
It'd be fun
traveling there.
I think it'd be fun
and packing that place. Yes, I agree. I think this will be fun. I think Lemoyne and Syracuse playing at Lemoyne on the women's side of things. And look at Lemoyne's schedule. They've got the Lemoyne women. They're playing Syracuse. They're playing Kentucky. They're playing TCU. They're playing SMU. They're playing Miami. It's a loaded schedule for the Lemoyne women.
Eligible for the tourney.
That's
now,
right. First year that Lemoyne is now eligible in all sports to make the NCAA tournament. So that's why I think, since we're talking about Lemoyne getting back to like Danny Sheehan and stepping down, I think that's partly why the timing was what the timing was, is that this is kind of a fresh start for all of Lemoyne athletics now here moving forward. We didn't talk about this last week, and we should probably bring it up. This happened when the show was on vacation. I was working at Channel 9, but from a radio side of things, we didn't get a chance to talk about this, and that is that the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Syracuse Crunch have extended their partnership.
Huge news.
For another 4 years. It is huge news. I mean, you look at it, it's difficult to find a good partner when it comes to the professional, the major league team, whether it's MLB or NHL or whatever the case may be, and that minor league team, and these two have worked together so well, and the success has been there since they've joined forces. 14 years ago or whatever it is. Crunch has missed the playoffs twice. The Lightning has gone to the Stanley Cup final 4 times. Yeah. And they're 2-2 in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, it hasn't gotten a Calder Cup to Syracuse yet, but it has been a very beneficial.
It hasn't, but the goal is obviously to
make the pro team better.
For the NHL team to win. And the Tampa Bay Lightning have won, and they've won a lot. And they've had over 100 players during that time, over 100 players that suited up here in Syracuse have gone on to suit up for Tampa Bay. That they're doing something right, and I think that Tampa Bay realizes that. They extended the contract another 4 years, and in talking with Howard Dolgan, he spoke with our Mario Sacco last week, and he said something very interesting, that he made it known that there are discussions in place for a new arena. to replace the War Memorial as home ice for the Syracuse Crunch and to establish a new arena here in town where the Crunch can play. He said that some discussions are already underway. So that's something certainly for us to keep our eyes on as things move along here. But I'm told that we do have our guest as we bring on Mac Lain, college football analyst for the ACC Network, to talk some SU football and ACC football. Eric, thanks for the time today. How are you doing?
Man, I'm living the dream. Have a new nephew that was just born. Got coaches interviews I'm trying to go back and forth with, and running around with my own little 3-year-old. So life is good, brother. Good to talk to y'all.
That's awesome. Congratulations on all of that. I know ACC, the kickoff event wrapped up late last week. What stood out to you from a Syracuse perspective in talking with Fran Brown and Steve Angeli and the guys that they brought down there? Antoine Delorier was down there along with Demetrius Samuel. What stood out to you from a Syracuse perspective?
I think for starters, and I don't know if you guys saw, but I was able to do a workout with, Antoine there, and that dude is a freak.
Yes,
he is big, he is strong, and he just has a really, fun kind of personality, man. He gets it, and he understands, the gift that is college football, and he understands how he got here and the reason why he's so successful. So I was really impressed by that, just how humble that young man is and how well he carried himself. And, then I look at Steve, Angeli, and a guy that probably got asked about his injury 1,000 times, before he got to us. And, he just handled himself so well. A guy that, again, grateful for his opportunity, grateful to be back. And I think people forget how good he was. He was a monster before his injury and lit up my Clemson Tigers in the Valley, had a couple of really just insane back shoulder touchdown passes, and had like 1,400 yards in 3.5 games or whatever it was before he was hurt. So I think he's going to really come back with a reckoning. Is the surrounding cast around him as good from a receiver percentage? We'll see. But I'm excited for Steve to be back on a football field wearing orange. I
don't know the answer to this, Eric, but I'm going to ask you. You were down there, and I'm sure you talked to every team, right? Syracuse was represented by a head coach, the starting quarterback, and 2 sophomores. Is that unusual that they brought? They look at Antoine Delorier and Demetrius Samuel, who are sophomores, as leaders of this team. Yeah. Is that unusual, or is that common practice at this thing?
If they're not quarterbacks, it's definitely unusual. Typically, we see guys, coaches really, give it to the seniors, whether that's earned by time or earned by some of the best players on the team. But I think it should give people a lot of excitement that the Syracuse team is young, and the young guys are good. They're absolute studs. They work their tail off. And it's something that has been on display, not only last year, but as they've been in spring and enter into, fall camp coming up here. So I think you should be really excited if you're a Syracuse fan to know the talent that's on this team and how young it is.
Let's talk about the starting quarterback and Steve Angeli. You said that he was asked about his injury 1,000 times. He says he's ready to go. We talked to him a couple weeks back, and he said if there's a game tomorrow, I'd be ready to play. No restrictions, full go, all that good stuff. Where does he rank in your mind, Eric, in terms of the other quarterbacks in this league? Is he a top 5 or 6 QB in this league in your mind, or is he a little bit below that?
Well, let me tell you, we just had Aaron Murray on my podcast, Gramlich and Mac Lain, and then I have a podcast with Aaron as well. We cover more national, kind of everybody in the country. He had Steve at number 4 in his rankings in the ACC. He loves him, thinks he's a fantastic player, and I'd probably be very close to that. I think we are loaded in this conference with good quarterback play, and there's probably just the only hesitation for me is just the injury and how quickly he will be back from that. But I don't think there's any question. The top 5 is right there, and something where the end of the season, can you finish in the top 5? That's what I can't wait to see.
Being a former offensive lineman yourself, I know that you know how important it is to be good up front on both sides of the ball. I think that is probably the biggest question heading into this new season for Syracuse is how good will the offensive line be? Will the defensive line be able to put some pressure on the opposing quarterback? How do you see it up front with Syracuse? Do you think that they've got the units in place that will, I guess on the offensive side of the ball, first and foremost, protect Steve Angeli, keep him healthy? Do you feel okay about the O-line at Syracuse?
Well, the good thing that we saw immediately from Coach Fran Brown is he's going to get bigger, right? He's going to go out and get dudes that are large human beings, and he did that. And you look at this offensive line, man, that is what gets me excited, just to see, that caliber of size, because that hasn't been the case for Syracuse for quite some time. The only other concern that typically exists was just the depth. You might have, the first unit be really, really good, but if an injury pops up, what then? What happens then? And that'll continue to have to show itself. Now, the thing that I think I get the most excited about, if you go to any website or this roster, they didn't take a bunch of transfers at the offensive line position. They like the guys that they have. They have that continuity, and so that should translate to the field.
On the other side of the ball, new defensive coordinator this year, Vince Karras comes in, highly touted, right? Highly respected out of Toledo and what he was able to accomplish there. What do you think about the move, and what are you expecting out of the Syracuse defense here in 2026?
Yeah, anytime that a head coach makes a move like that, they feel like they had to, or felt like there was a fit that could be had, or another guy, just takes a different job. I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of talent on that side of the ball, and it's something where, can you get it out the fullest? Can you put those guys in the right coverage, in the right blitzing situations, in the right scenario, that you can exploit that talent and really let it shine? So, do we see that? There's a handful of transfers, kind of in the D-line and linebacker area. Again, you have a guy like Antoine, that's your catalyst, that's your foundation. How can you build around? Antoine was very excited about the linebacking core and who, they brought in to be on the field with them.
How big of a year is this for Fran Brown? Season 3, we all know what happened in Season 1. Great year, a lot of excitement. Kyle McCord came in. They won 10 games last year. Angeli got hurt. They didn't win after that. Finished 3-9. How big of a year is this for him personally as he tries to get this program kind of moving in the right direction?
Yeah, it's huge, man. And I think, last year was just so strange, right? Because you had such a weird thing happen with the injuries at quarterback. And then, at one point in the season, there's a lacrosse player playing QB. Like, what are we doing, And just having that depth and having the right type of caliber guy and the amount of guys, just in case, because you never know. So, Fran is obviously learning, and Coach Brown is learning how to manage this new world of college football and only getting better. But, I have to think we'll be much closer to that 10-win season year in and year out than certainly what we saw a year ago.
All right, let's talk about the ACC at large now. Everybody seems to have Miami winning the league. If there is a second team that were to make the playoff, who do you think it would be outside of Miami?
That's a great question. I think SMU is going to be really good. I think that Kevin Jennings is a monster at the quarterback position. I don't think he gets enough love and credit from a national standpoint in regards to how good he is. He is, amongst the best in the ACC when it comes to rankings and what he did a year ago statistically, and all of that was on a bum leg. It took away his superpower. This guy is exceptional, dual threat, kind of capabilities there, and that was taken away. So, can they get better around him? Rhett Lashley, their head coach, thinks so. And so just how much can he have that help? I think SMU is going to be fantastic. A lot of question marks with Clemson in regards to, who's going to run out there first at quarterback, but around him, they're much improved defensively. They have as good as wide receiver core as anybody in the country. Can they put that together? Can their offensive line stay healthy, protect that young man, and get that run game back going? And then I would probably give Louisville the nod. I think that they have a great stable of running backs, arguably the best in the conference when you look at what they're able to do. And it's just going to come down to quarterback play there as well. Keenholz comes in from Ohio State, very limited experience from him. Not typically what we've seen from Coach Baum. These last 3 quarterbacks that he's brought in, those have been kind of finished products that he puts a little extra spin on. This is going to be a form of clay, just a block of clay that he can make into whatever he wants in this Louisville team with this Louisville offense. So, just seeing how they utilize that is certainly going to be fun. But those would probably be the 3 that I feel the best about moving forward.
I want to ask you about the school that you went to, and that's Clemson. What are your expectations for the Tigers? Can they get back to being in that that national title contender category, and what will it take for them to get back to that? Because it's been a few years now.
Yeah, I think it would be, kind of silly to just necessarily automatically place that on them this year. I think there's certainly some things that they have to continue to get better at and show and continue to grow. But as we've seen, things move quickly in this college football world. Things, teams move on, teams rebuild, teams reload, and it's not crazy to sit here and think that. But I think the quarterback position is going to take them as far as they can go. I think that is that going to be a true freshman? Is that going to be a senior that's been there and earned his way? I mentioned the wide receivers. I again think they're as good as anybody in the country collectively. This defense is going to be long. I think there's a chip on their shoulder from not, being who they were supposed to be a year ago with all those draft picks. So, just looking at those guys, they brought in 10 new transfers, 9 of which are on the defensive side of the ball. So I think there's a hunger, there's a bit of moxie over there, and ultimately Coach Dabo Swinney, bring in my offensive coordinator, Chad Morris, his running mate, his friend, his brother, and I know there's a lot of comfortability there. What does that translate to on the field? Points, yards, and of course, ultimately wins.
So, do you think all this talk about a quarterback battle at Clemson? Do you think that's real? You think there's a true competition here in this offseason?
Well, I think it's telling that Christopher Benzina was not at media day.
Yeah, right.
He's a senior. He's a guy. He's the quarterback that everyone says right now. But you would think that guy would be representing your team. So the fact that he wasn't there, I think, is telling that this is a true competition. And to me, where I kind of think this is without knowledge, this isn't Coach Dabo Swinney quote. I think it's probably tied. I think guys have equal amount of talent and the equal amount of things that they can do at this point, which is exiting spring, can either separate. And if Tate separates, he'll get the nod. But if it's a tie, of course, that's going to go to the senior. And I think they're both, fully capable and able to do it. But I think there is a little bit of upside with Tate. I think he's going to be a better runner.
I got 2 more for you, Eric. The first one is do you have an underrated player or an underrated team in this conference that you're keeping your eye on? Maybe, a sleeper pick, if you will.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement with NC State of the last week, right? I think they kind of came out of nowhere just when everybody was reminded how big and how good C.J. Bailey is. Their quarterback there, he's a freak. He's going into his 3rd year as a starter. A lot of expectation from that and being able to manage a team accordingly. It'll come down to their defense. Can they be back, to the expectation and to what we, knew and loved from NC State for years and years, which was just a tenacious defense. I think Pittsburgh's another team to keep your eye on. Mason Heinschel was so good a year ago, and then their schedule just cranked up. I mean, they played Notre Dame, they played Miami in back-to-back weeks, and it just kind of was all over from there. So, the schedule a little bit more manageable, specifically in November. Can they just really get it together, get that confidence, and, start sprinting? So those are 2 teams that, man, I really have an eye on how much can they impact or even be, in Charlotte for the ACC championship.
And then my last one is just in regards to Syracuse. Do you have a record prediction? What are your expectations for the Orange in 2026?
Oh, man, hit me with the record.
I know.
I think that they certainly will be better, right?
Do they get, I guess the big question, Eric, is do they get to a bowl game? Because that's what everybody around here talking about. Do they get to 6 wins?
100%, they're getting back to a bowl game. I think that Steve Angeli, again, too good of a quarterback. I think Fran Brown, too good of a coach to have back-to-back years similar to what they just went through. So I give them a lot of credit. Do I think it's 10 wins? Probably not. But postseason, absolutely, they'll be there.
All right, that is music to the ears of the fans listening to this show. Eric, we appreciate the time. Thanks so much for coming on. We do appreciate it. Enjoy everything you've got going on with your family this summer, and hopefully we can talk again when the season kicks off.
I look forward to that, brother. Thank you for the time and for the opportunity. Y'all have a great show.
All right. Thank you. Eric Mac Lain, college football analyst from the ACC Network, joining us here. We'll take a time out. We'll finish up today's business on the other side. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
I spilled, Steve. Shut up.
Gomez, how are you? What are you doing here still? Oh. Signs. Love Song. Tesla. They're playing Sharkies. Whoa. Whoa. Mr. Big's coming too. To be with you. Yeah. All the jerks in our chat that are jerks on your show are also jerks on my show. Just thought I would share that with you while you're in here. Yeah. They're always here. They're always on. They're a good group of jerks. Except for YouTube. YouTube people are nice. Why does Machado suck but becomes Babe Ruth against the Braves? He's been great the past 2 weeks. People would pay top dollar to drop me in a dunk tank. Is that true? Is that true, Steve? Would you pay top dollar to put me in a dunk tank?
I would enjoy that.
Top dollar?
Is Tim coming in for the rest of today's business?
What the hell do I look like, Tim? This seems like a song I could teach myself on a Casio piano. Like, it doesn't seem hard to play, right? I could just listen.
I bet you could do it.
I'll give all my love to you, Steve. That's the song title. That's not me saying that.
I don't know that I know this song. I've known all of them up to this point.
You don't know this?
Okay. Yeah, I've heard this song before. I don't remember that as the beginning, but okay, yes, I've heard this song before.
You know what he's telling her, Steve? You know what this song's about?
Yes.
Keith Sweat is him and LL Cool J like to write songs about,
So Tim had never heard of Keith Sweat. Tim's here now for the rest of today's business. What do you think so far? The artist
Baby
of the
making
day?
music.
Yeah, as advertised from Paulie yesterday. It's on the money. I wish Eric Mac Lain got the full intro. No one really got the intro of, realizing that was the music.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Both guests were jumped on a little bit
I was
late.
shocked you voted for him knowing we had guests coming on.
Well, any show we have guests, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he's usually like, oh, no, he sings about people doing naughty things. I can't go into a song about naughty things and talk to someone about the TBT.
I was proud of Steve for the Dodie Danish earlier off the top. You know, he really played along. And as you said, Paulie, that's the most fun
he's ever had in his life.
All right, bonus.
Ganging up on me again today.
Extra today's business.
You're getting the old double team today, Steve.
Superior Plus Propane always gives us today's business. A couple other topics I wanted to touch on. Billy Juwan, who just graduated, made it to back-to-back Final Fours as one of the top defenders for the Orange the last 2 years on the men's lacrosse team. Great guy. Son of a terrific coach. His dad, Bill Juwan, was the defensive coordinator for so many years for Johns Hopkins when Dave Petramala was the head coach. And everyone says about Billy, he's like an extra coach on the field, and he is going to be an extra coach for Coach John O'Derna and Fairfield. He's going to be an assistant coach, and I'm sure oversee some of the defensive responsibilities. So really cool for Billy. He's already playing in the PLL with Joey Spallina on the Maryland Whipsnakes, and I think that's awesome that Coach O is bringing some more Syracuse flavor to Fairfield with them.
Yeah, he's going with guys he trusts, obviously. That's how you build a coaching staff, and yeah, I'm interested to see what they look like moving forward.
Yeah.
And if they can make any noise in that conference.
Yeah, they've never won the CAA, and I heard Coach O on a podcast yesterday saying, we're just going to start by trying to win the conference, and let's see what we can build. Why can't we be the Richmond of the Northeast, though,
right.
The way that Richmond has really built a great program with Dan Chamati, and he does have a terrific offensive coordinator joining him as well. Dave Metzbauer was the longtime OC for Bill Tierney, going back to the Princeton glory days, won 6 national titles with Princeton as their OC. So it feels like Coach O has a lot of good people in his corner, and he's off to a good start there, and we will certainly be rooting for him. Other news, 3-Man Weave, which is a college basketball outlet podcast, and they release a lot of off-season rankings and content. They came up with a ranking of the top 100 college basketball players in the nation this upcoming year. No Syracuse guys on the list. I don't think we expected any Syracuse guys to crack the top 100. I believe J.J. Starling did crack this list last year. That did not age well, of course. But I went down the list here and put some of the notable ones in front of you guys, and I guess it just sort of stands out that Syracuse is going to play a lot of really talented players in the non-conference portion. And even if you count the exhibition game against UConn, the first game for GMAC on, I think it's October 13th, UConn's got 3 players in the top 35. Anything stand out from this list of top 100 players? Jeremy Fears of Michigan State is the number 1 player. And I think also just going through this list, you realize we don't know these players as much as we used to. I would not have guessed Jeremy Fears is the number 1 player in college basketball next year. I don't know how many of our listeners even know who that is, really.
Yeah, right. I just see a couple of, former Cuse targets on this list. J.P. Estrella, who ended up at Michigan, 76th on this list. Cruz Davis, who I know you were a big fan of, Paulie, from Hofstra. He's at Texas Tech now. He's 69th on the list. Marcus Burton, who was at Notre Dame, he transferred to Indiana, so Syracuse will see him early in the year. He's 62nd. You're right. I mean, and listen, I don't think and you mentioned it, Tim, we didn't expect to see Cuse guys on this roster, and I think that the way Jerry put it together is, we've been talking about it for several months, that it's, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts type of situation for Syracuse right now. But yeah, they've got several teams on the schedule that, have guys on this list, and they're going to have to do more with less. Like that is the strategy, right?
Expect to see one?
Well, I mean, who would the one be? It's not going to be Cayenne. I mean, maybe Sadiq, right? And Gavin Doty's not going to be a top 100 player at this point.
But you don't expect to see one? I expect to see one
from a tradition standpoint, you would. But I'm saying, knowing what the roster was, it does not surprise me that none of these guys made the top 100.
I mean, when's the last time they had a top 100 player in the country? Judah Mintz, probably, even though he got hated.
I'm sure Donnie Freeman going into the last season was a top 100 player.
I don't think he was. I went back and looked, and actually, as I said, I think JJ was on the top 100, but that was it. And maybe that was just going off of kind of raw numbers, right?
Yeah.
JJ had a good statistical junior year. Although I could be wrong about that. I think he may have been an honorable mention, or at least there was some chatter that maybe he should have been on the list, but I don't know. I mean, top 100 is pretty tough to crack. It's like the conversation we had with Steve Angeli and rating all the quarterbacks.
Right.
44th best quarterback. That's pretty good for Syracuse, I'd say.
Yeah, it is tough to break the top 100. And again, it
not
wasn't
for Virginia.
It wasn't going to be Cayenne. Sadiq would be strictly on potential, right? It wouldn't be based on what he did last year. It would be based on potential. Gavin Doty, are you going to do it off of one game and put him in the top 100? Probably not. So no, it doesn't surprise me. But this is how they're going to have to win, at least in the interim. They're going to have to put together a roster that fits together and plays together well, and they defend and they've got good chemistry, and they're going to have to beat some teams that are more talented than them. I think that's going to be the way it is for right now. And hopefully they can get this thing moving in the right direction, and they get the NIL right and get the wins right. But as of right now, you're going to have to beat teams that are, from a talent perspective, better than you.
Yeah. It was an interesting article I was reading this morning about Rhett Lashley. It was in The Athletic on why he turned down the Arkansas job and why college football's landscape is changing. And you see Kurt Cignetti staying at Indiana. You never would have thought that the Indiana head coach would pass up Penn State and all these other jobs that were out there. And Rhett Lashley just straight up said, he was like, any player that I've wanted to retain in the last 3 years, we've retained in our two deep. Like, we have that much money. Yeah. And, just hearing Eric Mac Lain say, I think SMU is really good. I just feel like SMU is going to be good in every sport going forward. And I'm sure some of the fans are tired of hearing the money conversation, but this top 100 list is really just top 100 most expensive players, too, to some extent.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
So, all right, you got a good kicker for us, Paul.
Yeah, who's got a good sense of humor besides Steve? Astronauts. They're known for their sense of humor.
Are they?
Yeah. And Monday was the anniversary of the moon landing.
That's right.
And apparently, those wacky astronauts decided that on the list of things that needed to be brought up was pictures of Playboy Playmates. Did you know that, Steve? So Playboy Playmates were snuck in on the moon landing, and they are now up for auction. The Playmates that made it to the moon, Steve.
How much are they going for?
The bidding is starting at $100,000.
You got that in your couch?
It goes. I'd be surprised if it goes for less than $500,000, guys. For Playboy Playmates that were on the moon. Is that a kicker?
It's definitely a kicker.
Well, are you shocked by that?
$500,000.
Oh, you're shocked by the money,
yes.
Not that astronauts took pictures
of naked
chicks.
I'm not shocked by that.
I guess they didn't know, like, the people on the planet Earth snuck them in, so the guys got up there and they were opening their gear.
Yeah.
And they got a good chuckle because there was a naked chick in their gear.
$500,000.
Yeah, oh, God, there's nothing funnier than finding a Playboy Playmate in your air supply and your Tang drink.
Why don't you sell one of your magazines on eBay and just say it was up in the air and
in the moon?
Yeah, and charge $20. See if you can rip someone off.
This Sports Illustrated I got with Tony Gwynn on the cover was on the moon.
So
that's from 1987. Yeah. They went back in 87. They didn't tell anybody.
I told you about all the baseball cards. Mm-hmm. My sister's cleaning out my dad's basement, and she found like 1 million baseball cards. I also have a gazillion Sports Illustrateds too. Do you think those worth anything? You think?
A gazillion? I don't know.
I mean, probably I would say 15 years worth.
I have 2 Sports Illustrated, one autographed by Tony Gwynn, one autographed by Trevor Hoffman. I don't know what they're worth.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Is there a market for that? I guess was my question.
I don't know.
It's funny you say that. I was just listening. Bill Simmons had Chuck Klosterman on his podcast. Yeah. He's an author, and he was saying that you can't find some articles that used to be in Sports Illustrated unless you actually have the actual magazine. And they were kind of theorizing maybe these magazines will be worth something down the road because like everything is on the internet, but if you want to find that one article and like have it in the magazine, maybe there will be some value to keeping them.
As a kid, I would send, even into my teens, I would send the Sports Illustrated to whoever was on the cover and see if they would send it back.
Did you really?
Yeah. And the big one for me was David Duvall signed it, and then he absolutely cratered it.
Some Manning curse.
Yeah, that was
the Paulie curse.
That was my, this is retirement here. He's like, Tiger Woods before Tiger Woods.
Yeah, Tiger just came around and then...
Well, he got the yips, right?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He fell off, yeah.
His career exploded, yeah.
The cover is him. It says, to Paulie, stay hot, and it's him blowing on his driver with the smoke coming off it.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
He did not stay hot, nor did I.
Imagine if Tiger wrote that for you.
Yeah. That would be worth something, for sure. All right, we'll hit a timeout here. Phone line's open if you want to check in. 315-437-7644. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
I didn't cut that one. Jake said it's totally fine if you reach out to him, so I can give you his number.
Okay, great.
Just
Thank you.
I'll shoot it to you now.
Matt from Auburn has a San Diego Chicken autograph picture. Yeah, Tony Gwynn and Trevor Hoffman sent them back to me. I mean, it could have been the secretary that signed them, but they look legit. I forgot what I was doing, and now I remembered.
You guys, did you talk at all about Texas' schedule? The basketball, Texas?
Mm-mm.
They just got roasted because they had, I think I had it in the rundown yesterday. I don't think I copied it today. They had just tons of bye games, like Southwest Jackson State. But then their fan base was also upset because they didn't really have any marquee home games. Like they're playing Memphis, but
no appetizer, Steve. Texas is
no appetizer.
Texas is anti-appetizer also, Steve, like Syracuse.
Here's Xavier. They've got Iowa at home. That's a good.
That's an appetizer. That's a
charcuterie board for you.
That's a good one.
Do we have a topic yet for Friday?
No, I won't be here, but yeah. Well, we had a couple ideas last time when we said we were going to
Foods on a stick.
Oh, bands we were talking about. Foods on a stick.
Suspicious foods. Liverwurst.
How about like office appliances or like
stapler?
Like stapler.
Office supplies.
Yeah, like
ink.
Draft the easy button from Staples.
The ink would cover everything. Good defender. I like that. Okay, here we go. I'm in.
The problem is whenever we bring up a topic, then we start saying what our draft picks would be, and we ruin it. You could do beer. You could do, well, that might be too much sponsored content, though. I'm just looking around the room now. I guess we did chain restaurants.
Are we just taking this up to 52, or are we doing 2 segments?
I don't care.
Let's do 52 if you want to bounce. I wouldn't mind getting out of here too.
Okay.
Finish up the workout there.
There's a lot of people with stuff going on.
Do we know, I think it's Dapoloni. Should have double checked. That's what I wrote down.
I thought it was Dapoloni.
Is Morgana the Kissing Bandit still alive?
Yeah.
Remember that, Steve, when Morgana would run out? What a time to be alive. She was doing things like that guy did trying to get the selfie with Wemby, but she was allowed to do it because she was a woman. She was gigantic. This song just recently got a resurgence, Steve.
Why is that?
Because a kid on a cruise ship sang this song on karaoke and killed it.
Really?
Yeah. You know what this song's about, Steve?
Did you sing this to your dates, Paulie?
Oh, my God, yeah. I wouldn't sing it. I would just put it on in the background.
The rest was
I'd
history.
be like, hey, baby. How are you?
He had such a distinctive voice.
I don't know if you know this, baby, but I've got a St. Ides in the fridge if you want to split it.
I had this song. Trying to think of what album this was on, because I definitely had this album.
Yeah. I'd be like, want to go get a McDLT?
You have problems. All right, so it's Wednesday, Tim.
Yes.
It's our favorite segment.
Yeah, we missed it last week. I don't know how we survived.
I don't know either. I actually, Steve, I didn't want to tell you this, but I called Tim and we did our own over the phone.
We did offensive line last week without you.
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
We'll post it another time. No, it's Position Preview Wednesday, our favorite segment, linebackers this week. And I think we discussed this with cornerbacks that, you feel pretty good about some of these position groups. It's kind of interesting going through this series because we have not gotten to the trenches yet. Offensive line, defensive line, that might be all we have left, honestly. And that might be the two weakest position groups on paper. But you look at the linebacker group, and Antoine Delorier, we just discussed, is one of the leaders of the team as a sophomore. He went down to ACC kickoff. He was tremendous as a true freshman last year. Remember, he had that terrific game against Clemson, pass breakup against UConn at the end of the game. Gary Bryant is also back, the transfer from South Dakota ahead of last year. So second year in the program for Gary Bryant. And then you add Chris D'Apollonia, who is the transfer in from Toledo. And I would say that D'Apollonia and Delorier are two of probably your top 5 players on this roster if you're just going off of accolades that they're receiving in the preseason. Phil Steele has both of those guys as preseason All-ACC linebackers. So how are we feeling about the linebacker group overall?
I think you got to feel pretty good about it. Are you talking about top 5 on the team or top 5 in the defense?
Top 5 on the team.
Top 5 on the team.
Yeah.
Okay, because you got Chris Peel, you got Demetrius Samuel.
Yeah.
I mean, you got, and I think that's encouraging, right? That you're able to you look at several guys on the defensive side of the ball as saying they are among your best players. I think obviously offensively, Steve Angeli is there, but yeah, I think you got to feel pretty good about the defense and the linebackers in particular. I think your defensive backs are your strength. Linebackers, I think, are right there with the defensive backs.
Absolutely, and I'm starting to get more confidence in the defense the more I hear people talk about it. That, am I a little worried that the defensive line might not be able to get pressure? Yeah, but that second and third line of defense are really good.
Yeah, and Tim brings up Gary Bryant, and he was a tackling machine when he came to the program, and the fact that he is in year 2 and he's a veteran guy, he's played a lot of college football, and we're mentioning him as though he's the third best linebacker. I think that is encouraging as well.
Yeah, because let's be honest, the linebacker group last year wasn't very good.
Correct.
I mean, Delorier, a true freshman, led their tied for the team lead in tackles. No true freshman has ever done that at Syracuse. And he was your best linebacker last year. So he's going to be better just by virtue of being a sophomore versus being a freshman. I think Gary Bryant will be better. So you've got your 2 best linebackers from last year coming back. Jamie Tremble's in the mix. Zion Moultrie-Goddard is in the mix as well. We still don't really know exactly how this defense is going to line up. We know it's multiple, which is the flashy word that we love to hear. So are they going to be predominantly 3 linebacker sets? Is it going to be like a 4-2-5 like we've seen? I think that'll be interesting. I think we're going to see a combination of both. And Vince Karras is someone that clearly has different third down wrinkles and different schemes to throw at you. And it just hinges a lot on this group, the secondary. If they stay healthy and Syracuse has a defense that, let's say, is like top 6, top 7 in the ACC, I think that is their path to making a bowl game this year.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think that this is a really solid group. I think it's, I think you're talking, B+ range if we're grading them. I think you got to like the linebackers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go B plus, A minus. I like him.
Nice.
A minus.
All right. Got to be different.
Yeah, I'll join you with A minus, Paulie. We'll gang up on Steve some more.
Yeah.
I think A minus because actually Phil Steele has this position group as his second best position group for Syracuse behind quarterbacks. Not behind cornerbacks, but quarterbacks.
Where's he got the defensive backs? Do you know?
He has him just, I think, 64th in the nation, and linebackers is 60th in the country. But relative to the ACC, Syracuse has the 9th best linebacker unit in the conference, according to Phil Steele. That's just one metric, but I think it is interesting that we talk a lot about the trenches, the wide receivers, like some of the flashy position groups that get a lot of fodder. Maybe there's not a lot there that we know as like returning key players.
Right.
But linebackers and cornerbacks, I don't know if we felt this good about linebackers and defensive backs going into a Syracuse football season in a while with returning players.
Yeah, and again, I go back to I think that is certainly encouraging. And to your point, there are a lot of unknown commodities at wide receiver and running back, but you know about Steve Angeli, and we saw what he did last year. And we've seen, I think, enough of Jeff Nixon to know that Jeff Nixon is going to put the offense in position to succeed. The most glaring issue then outside of, okay, if the offense can score points, can the defense stop people? And I think that the defense is going to be much improved. You've got a new leader over there with Vince Karras, and you've got some known commodities on that side of the ball. And I think you got to feel good about, the linebacking group and the defensive backs.
Yeah, and I think you got to also acknowledge that Dat Bologna has played in this defense before, and we talk about Jerry's bringing some of his Siena guys. It is going to be the first year in what we know of it as a pretty complex defense. Some returning players, but still a lot of new faces this day and age in college football that maybe I would be more worried about implementing a new complex defense in 1 year if it wasn't for the fact that like your quarterback of the defense is a guy that was in that defense last year and thrived, and I'm sure is good enough to thrive at Syracuse.
Got to get the last song in.
Yes, you do.
Hey, baby. Swung by Record Theater today.
Blockbuster wasn't open.
Picked up some Key Sweat for you. You know what this song's about? I was doing that bit to ladies before you, Steve. Hey, honey, you know what this song's about? You're about to find out.
That was your line?
Yeah. Closed.
It works every time.
It's like Mariano Rivera. Bang!
No wonder you're single.
No stopping it. You know you want it. Yeah. Amy Winehouse. Oh, I got 2 ideas for starting fives. All right.
Okay.
I don't know why this one tickles me, Steve. It tickles me on my inside because I think it'd be fun. Starting 5 kickers. Like we could do punters or field goal kickers all time. Like I don't know why.
You like putting humans in there.
No, because it would be funny. Like if you were like Reggie Roby is going to be my. I don't know why that one tickles me.
Okay. I don't know either, but okay.
And then secondly, what about sitcom characters?
That's good.
All right.
Yeah.
We're back to people, though.
Yeah, I know, but they're not real people. It's their character you're going by.
That is true. I don't like that. I mean, someone might just grab like the One Tree Hill Chad Michael Murray character. I guess that's not really a sitcom.
No, sitcom.
But,
you need to have like
Michael Scott. We know isn't very good at basketball.
You could get
It's an episode in The Office.
What's his face from Saved by the Bell.
Zach?
Mario.
Oh, Mario Lopez?
Yeah, he'd probably be good.
Slater?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. Don't think about that again until Friday.
Okay.
Sitcom characters.
I like that better than punters.
It's not even just punters. I just think it would be funny to be like...
I threw out in the break office supplies. I think we need to get back into the non-human category.
We just did a non-human one last time, didn't we?
But we had a rule when we started that we weren't going to do any humans.
I think sitcom
and then we did
the presidents or the historical figures.
Historical figures, and then we broke away from
I think you're starting to not like it when I win. I've won 2 in a row, and now you guys are turning.
No, I'll do whatever you want.
Amy Winehouse, Paula Abdul, Dire Straits, Janet Jackson, Dolly Parton. You know, if I was doing the show with Matt Park, he would be like, I'd be like, hey, how about random second baseman? And he'd be like, all right, let's do it. Starting 5 second baseman. That would be fun.
You want to do him that part?
I'd be like,
I was gonna say, but you're not doing the show.
I know.
on that part,
I'd be like Tommy Herr. And you'd be like, oh, good one. Yeah, that's a good one. He's probably really good.
All right. So next time you guys are traveling to a game, you can do that.
We can do
that.
Okay.
Do that exercise.
Amy Winehouse, Paula Abdul, Dire Straits, Janet Jackson, Dolly Parton, Color Me Bad, GNR, Depeche Mode. Depeche Mode, GNR, Color Me Bad, Dolly Parton, Janet Jackson, Dire Straits, Paula Abdul, Amy Winehouse. I'm going Color Me Bad. They seem fun. I Adore Me More.
Unexpected pick.
I'm going to go Dire Straits. I don't really like them, but people say that I would like them, so I was kind of interested in their catalog.
I was debating between Dire Straits and Paula Abdul, so I'm going to go Paula Abdul, and we're going to leave it up to the chat.
You thought I was going to pick Paula Abdul, didn't you?
I did.
Because I have a crush on her.
Crush poster, yes.
Yeah, I had her on my wall.
Yep.
Next one under LA Orange wins for us. Dire Straits. Here we go.
You hate whatever I pick.
They have two songs that I know of. Walk of Life and the one that you can't even play on the radio anymore. So there you go, Dire Straits.
I love how you make it an option.
They don't include them,
and then you get upset when it's picked.
It happens. I go along with it.
Okay. You're throwing
Steve,
pens, you're pounding your fist.
I'm a complainer, not a quitter. I'll still play Dire Straits.
Okay. Luckily, I won't be here tomorrow when you're just like, Tim picked this.
Garbage. You're a garbage human. You're unlikable right now.
I sort of forgot as I was picking. Maybe I'll tune in afterwards. And
all right, so no Tim tomorrow, but we'll be here. We'll be here the rest of the week. For Paulie, for Tim, I'm Steve. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We will do it again tomorrow at noon.
I'm sorry, but I have to.
All right.